Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Lauren Lewis with StaffBuffalo, and I wanted to come on today to talk about video conference interview tips. Now, video conferencing is not something that's new, especially from an interview standpoint. There have been a lot of companies that have been using this platform in the past to interview, especially when they have positions that are located across the country or people working remotely. But for a lot of us, it is a really new concept. It's new for hiring managers. It's new for candidates looking for a new job. So there are some really key tips, I think, that I want to share with you to make sure that you really nail the interview and don't get thrown off by this new process to interview for a job. One of the most important things is to make sure you treat it like a professional in-person interview. That comes down to making sure you schedule it at a time when you have very minimal distractions. So if you have kids at home, pets, make sure it's at a time when your kids are napping or when you can send them outside to play for a half hour or 45 minutes. Make sure your pet is outside. That way you minimize the background distraction noise and you can really focus on the interview, and the hiring manager you're interviewing with is not thrown off by the distractions that you are bringing into the interview. Another thing when it comes to distractions, make sure you're in a professional setting. Make sure there's no distractions behind you. You don't want any posters up, you don't want clutter in the background. That really lends a look into your personal life that could also translate into your professional life. So you don't want that stuff to hinder you from getting that job. Another thing, make sure you dress professionally. Although you're working from home and you're interviewing from the comfort of your own house, dress professionally from the bottom to the top. You want to make sure that you feel as comfortable and confident and professional as you can so that you are ready for that interview. In treating it like a professional in-person interview, not only are you going to make sure you're dressed professionally, but as you typically would arrive to an in-person interview 15 minutes before the scheduled interview time, you want to sit down at your computer 15 minutes before the scheduled video conference interview. That way you can sit down, prepare, make sure your resume is in front of you, make sure you have a notepad in front of you and a pen so you can take notes throughout the interview. Remember that interview is a two-way street. You're going to be interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. So have your notepad and pen ready to jot down anything that you take away from the interview as well. Also, make sure that you are prepared for this interview before the actual interview time. So there are a lot of different web conference platforms and software that the company might be using to do the interview. So whether it's Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Skype, Uber conference, name it, there are a variety of tools out there that people are using to do these video conferences. You want to make sure you test the conference software beforehand. So make sure you have it downloaded. Ask a friend or a colleague if they can practice with you. I know at StaffBuffalo, we do this a lot with our candidates who are interviewing at our clients. We test the interview the software platform before the interview, just to make sure when they sit down to that interview, the microphone works, the video works, and they are not distracted by anything. Make sure that your laptop, your mobile device, whatever it is you're using, make sure it's charged fully so that when it comes time to the interview, you're ready to go. You have no technical glitches before the interview. And finally, one of the most important things, once that interview is over, send that follow-up thank you email. And you want to send it within 24 hours. Thank the interviewer for their time. Thank them for sharing information with you. Thank them for taking the time to learn about who you are, your career history, your successes, your awards, your accomplishments, and what you could bring to that company for that interview. So please make sure you always send that thank you interview. That's imperative, and that does not go away just because you're doing a video conference. So in summary, make sure you treat this interview professionally. Make sure you treat it like an in-person interview. Although you're at home, there are a lot of things you could do to make sure that this interview goes smoothly and that you get that job. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can always email me, llewis@staffbuffalo.com. And also, StaffBuffalo does offer video conference interview workshops to help you prepare for these interviews. We do phone interview workshops, in-person interview workshops, and now video conference workshops as well. So if you are interested in learning more, check out staffbuffalo.com. Have a great day.